All right, hello everybody. Welcome to IA Command, and Season 8 is upon us. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. And I know you guys are hungry for some Season 8 gameplay for those that are into IACP, and I've got some for you this week, actually. So, I did get to play some games this week with Season 8 cards, so I'm going to be bringing those to you guys for this week. Hopefully, once the first week of Playtesting League finishes, I'll have some more game logs and I can look at other people's games. But for now, this is what I got, and I know you guys are eagerly awaiting to see some gameplay, those that don't get to play on Vassal or maybe don't get to play in person as often. So, this is for you guys to enjoy and see some of the new cards in action. So I should say who I'm playing. So this first game that we're going to be looking at was played by myself very late at night against one of our actually newer skirmish players to the skirmish scene, who goes by the name of, I believe it's Clockwork Sphinx. So I just have them as C Sphinx because that was too big to, to go in the little window. But yeah, he has come. He's one of our several new players that have joined us as season 8 has been dropping. So welcome to everybody who's joined recently and is playing online Vassal with us. Great to see new faces in the community. And Sphinx actually played his first skirmish game against me just a week before this game, and he's already, pretty solid. I have to say, he's given me a run for my money several times now, and I'm gonna try and turn off the. There we go. Let's turn that off so we don't hear those Discord noises anymore. But yeah, he's giving me a run for my money, and he's got a very good strategic sense of gaming from past games. So he's still just kind of learning the ropes as far as like the rules for IA and the mechanics and the effects that each of the cards has. So there's some blunders here and there, but I think this is a very good game. I actually played honestly pretty terribly, not great like this game, and this game also made me realize I needed to start adding a time limit to my games because we were just going at it for way too long, back and forth. So anyway, this is going to be an untimed game. We're going to play to the end. So let's take a look at the lists here. Let's see if I can bring up the. So I'm going to bring up my list first. There we go. So I'm actually not playing any new Season 8 deployment cards, but I'm playing quite a few of the new technicians that were added to existing deployment cards, specifically Chewbacca. I have been really wanting to test out Chewie in Season 8. He's gotten a lot of buffs this season indirectly, so I thought it'd be fun to see how he's doing. So I am running. This is actually kind of a combo list that already existed in the game that revolves around Chewie, Cassian, and Jared, who has also gained the Technician trait this season. So I have Chewbacca here. You can see. I've also got the Wookiee Avenger card for him. I have Cassian, Jin Odon as another smuggler. I have Gideon, Hera, and then moving over here. We've got Jared, who brings his companion Jax, who's important to this combo, and then I have R2D2, 3PO, Heroic Effort, and Balance of the Force, which is to help me fit Debts Repaid, which is Chewbacca's signature card. And in order to play his -4 recost from FFG, you pretty much have to put that in your deck, otherwise you lose out on a card draw at the beginning of the round. So Balance of the Force helps me to fit that. And then for those who don't know, Debts Repaid says when a friendly figure is defeated, ready your deployment card and become focused. This card has traditionally been very tricky to play with because your opponent can easily play around it by just killing Chewbacca first. And that's made even worse by the fact that in order to get the benefit from this card, you have to activate Chewbacca early in the round to be able to ready him at the right moment. Which, if you're activating him early, his attack and his abilities are very close range focused, so it often puts him in danger. So, in order to kind of cheat that, we are running Cassian Andor, who has a special ability that says once during your activation, you may choose another friendly figure within 2 spaces that can be defeated. That figure is defeated, then perform a move or attack without spending an action. So, true to his Rogue One appearance, he can sacrifice friendly figures to give himself an extra movement or an extra attack. So the way you do that, it doesn't say non-companion. So you have Jared, who brings his little companion droid, which will be spawning soon here. And you actually can sacrifice that, and that also triggers debts repaid when the little companion token dies. So you can pretty much force debts repaid to trigger earlier than if you waited for your opponent to try and defeat something. So that's kind of the combo here. We've got Hera to give more power tokens from Cassian's Strike Team ability, and then Jin Odan is just a excellent figure all around from early on in the IACP. Going to be interesting to see how Jared does. He's been classically kind of a mid-power figure, not quite good enough to see the highest levels of competitive play, but not bad enough to really need attention. So we'll see how he does with some of these new Technician cards, which is the new trait that has been added to Season 8, if I did not mention that already. All right, let's look at Sphinx's list. And we're going to change this to player 1. There we go. So Sphinx is actually running a pretty heavy spy list. So what we see here, we've got Mara Jade's second sister and the Grand Inquisitor as the Force users. All three of them being hunters and Force users. Then we have Agent Blaze as well as Thrawn, Del Meeko, and a officer with advanced comm systems. And Del Meeko has the new or updated version of Vaders Finest on him, as you can see on the bottom left of your screen, since it's covered up by Del here. And you guys are going to get to see this in action. This is definitely something the committee is looking at and really already has kind of decided that we definitely need to take action on this. But this combo is quite insanely with Del Meeko because of his expertise ability. So with Vader's Finest giving him a special action to become focused, and that giving him then another action, he's basically focused all the time, and he also gets 2 extra movement points every time he attacks. So that's going to be fun to see in action. You guys will get to see a lot of that since Sphinx actually did a really good job keeping him safe and out of danger to make it hard for me to get to him. He's also got Doubt, Rule by Fear, and Zillow Technique. So Sphinx has talked on the Discord about how he really loves control decks in other games, and so this very much fits into what he's been trying to do here. I really love what Sphinx is trying to do, and in fact, I've realized playing against him that I really need to start putting smuggling compartment in my lists, which, as many of you will know, is the anti-spy card we made for last season. Not really just because I wanted to spite Sphinx in all the games we play going forward. 2 reasons though is when you're playtesting, it really sucks to have the card you're trying to test ripped out of your hand or out of your deck for no effect. And the smuggling compartment actually helps you dig for the cards you're trying to test out. So I'm actually going to be putting that card in my deck, but I don't have this one, so you guys get to see me get absolutely wrecked by these spies. So let's get into the game here. We're going to turn that off. So we are playing on Bespin Tabana facility. We're playing the Man and Carbonite mission, which is where the tokens drop when you kill a figure. But like I said, this is very late at night, and by the time we started killing stuff, I think we had both completely forgotten about that part of the objective, and we were pretty much just playing for kills. So really, you can pretty much ignore the objectives here. Doors are unlocked. Sphinx has initiative and took the red deployment zone. And then I am going to be resolving Hera's smooth landing here with Chewie and Jin, and then moving everybody up, and then that lets me resolve Cassian Strike Force to move him and Jared forward. Now I'm moving to the south here because I figure he's got melee figures and I have mostly ranged figures and just 1 melee. So I was thinking I wanted to control this terminal area instead of letting him get easy access to my figures with his melee figures up in the top. But I end up kind of messing up on this one. So also nicely, I've got the text chat here so I can follow along. And then Strike Force means that I give a power token to up to 4 figures that are outside the deployment zone. Again, that's Cassian doing that. Let's see if I can throw him up here. There you go. Now, usually you see him run with Kotun, but of course I've got Chewie, so. Alright, so we're activating Thrawn first for Sphinx, and he rips Supercharge off the top of my deck. Again, a new card that I was hoping to test out gets discarded to the bin, pretty much unable to get played. But I'll put it up here so you guys can see how that would work really well with someone like Jared, who is a technician now. in Season 8 and only has 2 attack dice. R2D2, also a Technician. So I'm really hoping to get to see that happen with R2D2 rolling 4 yellow dice with this 1-point card. Probably taking a lot of strain from it though. So Thrawn going to give a block token to the Inquisitor and move up to the north. I activate 3PO here to focus Jin Odon. Oh no, actually I do focus Chewie here because I realize I want to be able to focus Jin with Gideon, who needs line of sight. So focusing Chewie. Now that was my first mistake. I really shouldn't be focusing Chewie. I'm not really sure why I did that. Should have been focusing Cassian, or even, yeah, probably Cassian, especially since he has doubt. So I go ahead and activate Chewie here, and now I move him down. So I moved him down here below this blocking terrain because I want to. I was worried that he would open his door and try to start attacking me, and I didn't want Chewie to get attacked. So he's actually protected from the terminal door on the left side there, in that spot. The problem is he's completely exposed to the middle part of the map, the other door, and I didn't even think about it. So I don't know why I put Chewie there. I should just moved him back up next to 3PO. The other problem with him being way down there is, since if Sphinx goes up to the top of the map, Chewie's way out of position, and that's what Sphinx is doing here. He moves Del up, focusing him with Vaders Finest. So let's look at Del Meeko. I find it interesting that he didn't even feel a need to bring any droids to use Gifted Mechanic, because really what he's doing is going to just be using Vaders Finest to focus him each round, since that is a free special action for Del. Definitely looking at Del here as well. So it looks like we're going to go for an attack here. Yeah, so Grand Inquisitor going to move and open the door, and then he's going to move back to the terminal room. I realize I've made a mistake. So I move R2 here, and actually this is good that I put him here. So I move R2 and draw a card. Let's see. Oh, and then looks like my connection gave out, so we're going to load up part 2. So looking at, what I really wanted was to not give Blaze any line of sight to any of my figures to disrupt my hand. But of course I did just that. Now Chewie is able to easily get attacked by Blaze here. Okay, so here comes Blaze to attack me. Been some good discussion on Blaze in the meta and why he's not that strong but also really annoying. So okay, so we're gonna attack Chewie here. Now the thing about Blaze is, to get an interrogate, he does not actually need to make range. Just needs an uncancelled surge. But I get lucky, and I've been playing Sphinx a little bit, and I seem to get very lucky against his Blaze attacks. Either he doesn't roll the surge he needs, or I always have the evade to stop the surge he needs. So he doesn't make accuracy, and he doesn't get the surge through. But not that it cost him anything really. It just, you know, he didn't have to spend any cards from hand. He just didn't get the surge he needed. And it's not like Blaze was going to be making any good attacks there anyway. So, alright, there's Jack's token coming up for Jared. Forgot to spawn that at the beginning of the mission. Alright, so now that he's done this, his Thrawn is actually out of position here, and Cassian can see it. So this is where I regretted not focusing Cassian. But Cassian does have pretty good range. Let's see if I can put him back here, because I really want to get rid of Thrawn here. But, you know, free attack's a free attack. So I spend the damage power token, hopeful of getting a good shot. Now we are age 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, range 8. Not too hard, considering he's got a surge for +2 accuracy and 2 blue dice. But again, I do get lucky here, and I get the 6 I need with a surge for +2. So able to make range, and then I spend the other surge for +2 damage. Oh no, excuse me. So I actually realized. Okay, this makes sense. I decided to go for just gain the power tokens instead. I realized that I got lucky getting that shot in. And again, the nice thing is he doesn't need to make range to get those damage power tokens. So instead of going for 3 damage here, I go ahead. Oh, that's what it was. I use Hera, who's up there to the right, upper right of Cassian, to add a surge. So I am able to do the 4 damage to Thrawn and gain the power tokens there. And then I move Cassian back. The reason I move Cassian back is because I don't want to have that terminal door open on me, but also I want to be able to move and get line of sight if I need to attack with Cassian in the upper part of the map. So Sphinx moving his second sister down to this terminal door, and unfortunately she never really leaves this area, that terminal area, so she doesn't really get to fight until the very end of the mission when I finally have to go into that room. But now I am trying to consider what I want to do here. So the problem is I can't really just go for a stun on Meeko because Vaders Finest, when he focuses himself, it also removes any harmful conditions. So I think what I'm doing here is going for the door open with. Oh, and I realized I didn't zoom out like I should have. There we go. Now you guys can see the full lists and how many cards are in hand. Alright, so yeah, I go here, and I think I'm going for the stun on Mara Jade with Hair Trigger. It's unfortunate. I kind of feel bad using Hera there now because I don't have access to that accuracy bonus anymore. Yeah, I'm kind of figuring out what I want to do with my life. So Sphinx does pass here, although I wonder if you might have wanted to activate Mara to avoid the Hair Trigger. So I moved Hera, and now I'm going to go for it. So Jin Odon opens the door. Now I can Hair Trigger and Sidewinder back to 3PO. So he is, his only figure he can activate here is Mara Jade. So now I can use Hair Trigger. Now is a range 8 shot, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's range 7. She's got 2 green dice. She's focused, so that's 3 accuracy minimum. She's got +1 accuracy, so that's 4. And then she has a surge for +2 is 6. So I really don't need to get super lucky on the dice. I just need to get a 2 or better on one of my green dice to actually make the range, and then not lose my surge to have the surge I need for the accuracy. I didn't spend my power token here though, just in case I did miss. I wasn't really interested in doing damage here so much as I was interested in stunning Mara Jade to kind of hamper her from moving into a better position. So she does get the surge cancel, unfortunately, but I actually rolled really well on the accuracy on my dice. So 6. I actually just make accuracy even without the surge, so I'm able to get some damage in here, which is also nice. Like if you can make damage stick, damage will stick. You know, it's worth it. So 4 damage to Mara, even though she doesn't get stunned. um, and that actually would have been really helpful here because what's about to happen is going to be awful. So he just played. Where is the card? Oh, where did it go? He didn't put it on the table, but Lure of the Dark Side, which was updated in the previous season, in season 7. So he's targeting Chewie with Mara to perform an attack, which sucks for me. But at least the only thing he can see is R2D2 right now with Chewie. But he's going to strip that focus and the power token off of Chewie there, although he would have lost it with doubt. Now, I was hoping for a lucky roll here with R2, but I do not get it, and Chewie strikes true. So I lose R2 there, and also unfortunately lose draw, since I no longer have somebody on the terminal. Although wait, did I have somebody? Oh, I still have Jared. Never mind. So now I'm debating: do I want to use debts repaid here? Problem is I can't. So the weird thing with this interaction with debts repaid and Lure of the Dark Side is when you perform an attack with your opponent's figure, that figure becomes hostile to all other figures and all other players. And the rule is with command cards is that your friendly figures can play command cards from your hand. Well, Chewbacca is not friendly to me right now. He's been lured by the dark side and he is still attacking. Right now, he's in the middle of attacking R2D2. So I can't even play Debts Repaid like I was hoping I'd be able to here. So it's just going to have to stay in my hand. But I do remember my heroic effort trigger, I believe. Yeah, there we go. I don't remember what I drew, though, and I don't remember what's in my hand. I believe I have... Actually, I don't even remember what's in my hand. Which, actually, wait, I guess I can... Let's see. Player 2. There we go, now I can see. So it looks like I had Negation, Reverse Engineer, which is the new Technician card, and Heart of Freedom. And I used Heroic Effort. I drew Personal Energy Shield, which is another new Technician card. And I put Reverse Engineer back. So that makes sense. Personal Energy Shield is something I've been wanting to try out with Chewbacca because he's got that extra white dice to get more evades. And then let's switch back to player 3. Alright, and that is the end of round 1. So it's actually gone quite well for Sphinx, mostly because of my really bad positioning there with Chewbacca. I should not have put him there. Although he could have really gotten me with Jin as well to kill 3PO, which would have been also really bad. That Lure of the Dark Side, man, I gotta remember to play against it. But it is tough to play against, to play around. So that's why it cost 3 points. And then Chewbacca also took 2 damage from the 2 strain. So Doubt's going to strip the power token off of Jin Odon. So I probably should have just spent it. But I thought I was going to lose it to Chewie. I was going to lose Chewie's focus. So, all right, initiatives moves back to me, and then let's see what I have drawn here. Element of surprise and planning. So I'm really looking for a way to set up a combo here with Chewie activating first, then Cassian activating, sacrificing Jax to play Debts Repaid with Chewie. But it's tricky because I don't want Chewie to just die, you know, and I don't want Chewie to just get attacked by all of his melee figures either. So, I'm trying to pick my spot here. I do activate Jared, who is a leader, so I'm like, okay, well, I'll play planning with Jared then. And let's see what I get. Spoiler, you're not going to see any of these cards actually played, so that's why I'm looking at my hand. So I did get Cassian's card and Black Market Prices, another card draw card. Okay, and Jared moves up next to 3PO. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to protect Hera, and I'd rather him shoot at Jared or Jin Odon with 3PO there, providing distracting evasion. Okay, so now he's debating if he wants to activate Thrawn and get hair triggered. So he does go for it. So I go for the hair trigger with Jin Odon, who now has Hera backup with called shots, so I can get the accuracy if I need it, even though I have 1 less dice. And I get a great roll there. That's 4, 5. It's range 8. Surge for +2, so I actually get the range. Yep, called shots to add +2 accuracy. So 5 damage, Pierce 1, and stun on Thrawn. Which would have killed him, but he had Zillow Technique to keep him alive with 1 health. And then Thrawn strips off another new card I was hoping to play. That's actually the card I was trying to dig for, because this card works so well with Chewbacca's Slam, as it is a special action still, even though it doesn't cost an action perform. So you can double move Chewie, slam, and then use this to become focused and perform an attack, which is really fantastic. That was the combo I was hoping to pull off, but Thrawn strikes again. And I said Thrawn is the bane of playtesting. I almost want to make a house rule for playtesting that if Thrawn hits a new card from the season, you have to shuffle and redo it until you hit an old card that we've already tested. Alright, so Thrawn's going to retreat here. He clears the stun from Jin Odon's hair trigger and retreats. Now notice I have not used Sidewinder yet. This is just hair trigger. Alright, so activate Hera to play black market prices. And this was my huge mistake here. I'm drawing all these cards and I have completely failed to account for the fact that there are multiple spies in Sphinx's list. And general rule of thumb is until you see the strat shift come out, you really want to save your card draw cards so that you have something to draw with after you get strat shifted, not just like fill up your hand completely with cards and then get strat shifted. So, and now I think we're going to see the punishment. So Del Meeko able to play strat shift pretty much for free. As a free action thanks to expertise. And yeah, this is the part where I'm like, oh yeah, I effed up. Let's see, what did I draw before we send it all back? So it looks like I drew, I drawn urgency and a double or nothing. So, yep, that's unfortunate. That means I also lose debts repaid. So all that whole combo with Jax and Cassian just gets flushed down the toilet here. So everything gets shuffled in, and I remember what I drew. I drew take initiative and negation. So pretty much two dead cards, at least until the next round. But nothing that I can actually use this round. Alright, so Del Meeko is going to attack Jin Odon here, who is next to her best friend 3PO, so it means I'm getting an extra block with Cunning. He's focused and he has a hidden as well from Agent Blaze's adaptability. So there's the focus, blue, blue, yellow. So really good attack still. At least he doesn't have a reroll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 5 damage to Jin Odon there. So I stopped the second surge, so he's not able to get the power token. And then he's going to move all the way back here because of Vaders Finest, again, giving him that extra movement. Let's see if I can throw it up here. So he was focused already. He played strat shift to get the extra action from expertise. Then he stopped mid-movement to use the first action ability on Vaders Finest. So he got 2 more movement points to move and run away. So makes him very mobile. And again, I'm going to mention this Del Meeko plus Vaders Finest combo is not going to be lasting. I'm just going to spoil that. Alright, so go ahead. I'm going to activate Jin here because she is only got 2 health left. So I'm thinking at least I don't want to have Blaze stripping the only cards left in my hand. But I'm trying to figure out if I want to keep the points alive or just go for it here. So I go ahead and do it. Just completely raw attack, hoping for surges, and I get them. Her attack is just so good. So 4 damage, pierce 1 and stun, and he's already used Zillow. And I use Sidewinder here, taking the strain as damage to move out of Blaze's line of sight. So now Blaze should not be able to attack anybody this round due to the stun. Yeah, we're checking. You cannot move through a wall like that. You have to go down and then up. So it clears the stress, clears the stun. 1, 2, 3. He can still get there, but he's still in line of sight. He wanted to get Blaze up to this corner here where he was really safe. But yeah, I can't move through walls like that. And that means that Cassian now has a pretty good shot here. Oh, so Gideon's going to activate first. I'm going to focus Cassian and move him up. Not sure why I did that. I guess he's out of ranged attackers here. And so the officer going to activate, and now I'm going to move Blaze. So maybe I messed up there and gave up my shot on Blaze. But I can still get an attack on Mara Jade here. Okay, so I actually sacrificed Jax. So is that because he has not activated Mara Jade yet? Oh yeah, Mara's not activated. So I'm trying to kill Mara here. So I'm like, okay, my combo's gone. Let's just do this. Um, I sacrifice Jax to get my bonus attack here. Because Mara Jade has 6 health left. And he's got Zillow, which he is very good at using, which Sphinx has been really good at using so far. So she has actually 7 health left. So yeah, I'm not confident that even a focused power token attack from Cassian can guarantee a kill on 7 health with Zillow. So I do just make accuracy. It's a long range shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I wanted to do that first bonus attack first because I needed to do it from that space where Cassian's at. So I wanted to have the focus for the extra range there. And then my plan is to move up closer for the second shot. So we're doing 6 damage. So yeah, would not have helped me there. But I think he does pitch to Zillow, hoping he's going to survive this second attack. And I move up 2 spaces to attack her again. Spending power token. And that's going to be 3, 4 damage going through. And then she is dead. So Mara goes down and 6 points for me. And Cassian's just kind of stuck there. So now the Inquisitor coming up and going to do a lightsaber throw here. Targeting Cassian. So doing 4 damage there, thanks to that lucky little evade. Quite happy with that result. Alright, now it's time to activate Chewie. And Sphinx did put Inquisitor right there for me to get a slam off. I think what I was really hoping to accomplish here was to get Chewie up there so I could get a kill on Thrawn with Slam and then do some damage with some attacks. So yeah, I go ahead and put him there because I want to be within reach of Thrawn. So by putting Chewie there, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, slam Thrawn to kill him, and then still be able to attack next round. So 3PO activates first, going to focus up Jared. Oh, the reason I did that is because I realized that Second Sister has Force Leap. So I was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She can move here, and if he had any movement cards, I would just be giving up a free attack on Chewie by putting Chewie here. So I want to force him to activate Second Sister first. Okay, and now Chewie is free to move up and slam for a nice 3 damage. Let me get this cough out of my system. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now I do have take initiative at least, but I'm thinking he's probably got negation at this point, so unfortunate. But I actually drew on the lamb here, which was an insanely lucky draw. So I do play take initiative, but he does have the negation. But that on the lamb is going to really help me here. He does get adapt trigger from Agent Blaze from me playing take initiative, even though it was negated. So he decides to hide Del Meeko there. And we're talking about cleave and how does cleave work. So first thing he does is play Dark Energy. Oh no, he undoes that. So he uses Dark Energy here on Chewie, and I'm like, okay. But I do have on the lamb again, so that would have pulled Chewie too far away to be able to slam and attack on Thrawn. Um, and now I get kind of lucky here. He goes for the regular attack, so I ask Sphinx, "Hey, are you doing a regular attack or are you doing saber throw?" And oops, that's not the right one. And he says, "I'm just doing a regular attack." In hindsight, I think it's always correct there to do a lightsaber throw even when you're attacking. Let's see. No, wait, am I wrong? I thought we made it so that he doesn't need to do that. Yeah, I think this one's wrong. I gotta check on that. Because I think we made it so that if you're performing a non-melee attack, or non-range attack, but that might be wrong. I'll have to look into that. Anyway, so he does the normal melee attack, which allows me to play on the lamb here and just get away and just move right away from him. And yeah, that completely stops his attack, so no cleave there, no opportunity to cleave. So I think he got blindsided by lamb a little bit. You know, you're when you're a new player, you're still learning all the cards, and I think lamb is one that you don't always think about, but when it happens to you and it ruins your best attack, you don't forget about it anymore. So now that allows me to move Chewie closer to get that free slam. So it takes out Thrawn with that 1 damage. Can't be blocked by Zillow. 6 points for me, and I move up, and I'm going to take my attack here on Blaze to get the other kill I need. And definitely kills Blaze. So 2 figures dead there from my Chewbacca. And putting me pretty far in the lead here. Now, however, it's not over yet, as they say. So we decide to play it out here. We've got Meeko taking a shot at Chewbacca. And that was 5 damage going through with the hidden and the focus. And then going to use open-minded to gain a power token. Gets a block token. And then moves down into cover. Okay, and now 3PO activating, going to focus. And we're trying to figure out how the actions went down here. So he shouldn't actually have been focused because he had to focus himself there to do that. So 3PO activating to focus up Jin Odon, who's pretty safe now. And then the officer comes up and moves Inquisitor into a nice spot. Really good play with the officers here, how he's been moving his figures out of line of sight with the officer. Usually when I take a turn off to focus somebody, he goes ahead and uses that officer to move somebody out of line of sight. Mainly moves him out of reach of Jared, although I think Jared can still reach him. Okay, so Hera gonna come up here. No, Jin gonna go for the stun and the attack. So Sphinx tries to concede here, but says we can play it out. And I say, yeah, let's play it out. And that ends up being... I could have gone to bed. We could have both gone to bed. But I thought I could win it. I thought I could just finish it off here. But he really plays it out. So let's see what happens. So I'm figuring here, okay, I have all these figures. Inquisitor's out in the open. Just got to kill Inquisitor, and then I can probably just call it there. But he has the deflection of the Inquisitor. Forgot to play it, but of course, you know, when you're playing somebody new, you let them play the cards. Because there's a lot to keep track of when you're playing IA, especially when you're new. So that kills Jin Odon. Let me put the card up here for you guys to see. This was updated a long time ago. And I completely spaced on it, right? I should not have attacked the Inquisitor. I should not have attacked a Force User with Jin Odon with 1 health. But I did it. So so activate Gideon and move him up next to 3PO. Alright, and second sister's just going to hang out by the terminal still. Alright, so now it's finally time. The other reason I wanted to play this out was because Jared had done nothing this whole game, and I'd really wanted to see if I could make something happen with Jared. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any of the command cards that I brought to play with him, the Technician cards, but I'm like, okay, if he's focused, he's got a damage power token. Let's see what he can do at least. He spends a block token with the Inquisitor. And I get, after Zillow, I do 3 damage. Which is like, not as good as I was hoping against the white dice. But Zillow plus extra armor is good for a reason. So, alright, so now I should just be able to finish it off here with Cassian, deal the 1 damage. But he gets a dodge. So here I make a bad decision, right? Because I'm thinking he's not played Take Initiative yet. So he's not played Take Initiative. There's a good chance he'll draw it on the next round. I'm out of activations here, except for Hera, who's too far away to actually get line of sight to the Inquisitor. So I'm like, okay, I can risk his Inquisitor either killing one of my guys and running away, or just full out running away. Or I can make a sacrifice play here, because I've got 1 movement point left with Cassian, and we can sacrifice Jared. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. This is where full cockiness takes over. Yeah, and I said here, you would still be, you could still have Take Initiative, so I feel justified here. So I sacrificed Jared, a full 5-point figure, who did not impress me with his attack. That probably led into my decision. And that's when we both, actually he remembers that the Grand Inquisitor's reroll ability works on defense if you're defending against an adjacent figure. And of course I had to move Cassian to be adjacent to the Inquisitor there if I wanted to sacrifice Jared, because it will be alright is a 2-space limit. So of course he rerolls. Yep, we both thought he was dead. I think he took him off the table. And then it happens. Wait, adjacent. I get a reroll. He gets another dodge. Oh my god. Pretty much the nightmare scenario there. So again, now it really puts him back in the running. And I'm like, okay, well, wait, you still have second sister and Dell. I have a damaged Chewie, a damaged Cassian, and a Hera that's way out of position now. Like, this is actually not looking great for me. But it looks like Take Initiative was at the bottom of his deck, so I'm able to activate Chewie here with Heart of Freedom. Slam kills the Grand Inquisitor. And then, do I move him out of the way? Oh, I go for the attack on the officer here. And Butthole Red roll on the red, plus Zillow, is actually going to keep that officer alive. And keep in mind, he still has Take Initiative somewhere in his deck. So officer moves away, plays planning. I actually decided to negate it here. Not sure if that was the right call. Andor moves back into cover. Gideon moves. Okay, so here's where some weirdness happens. Gideon moves Hera up and focuses her. The only reason I did that was because currently there's nobody that can open the door and attack me in the same action. Although I guess Dell could have come down, opened the door. No, it doesn't. Expertise doesn't trigger on interacts like all in a day's work. So yeah, that wouldn't have worked. But Sphinx made a mistake because there's a common error we see with new players. This space, let me put that back. So this space that Dell's in right now is not adjacent to this door. Only these spaces are adjacent to the door. So he can't actually open the door from there. So he thought that he could open the door and attack Hera. And I was like, hey, I wouldn't have moved Hera there if I thought you could open that door. So I told him he could put Dell. He thought he was putting Dell in a spot where he would be able to open that door without moving. So I said, go ahead and put him there if you want to. But then we were like, but then I wouldn't have activated Hera like that or like Gideon like that. So he's just like, you know what, never mind. So I think that's the best way to do it. And he goes up for the attack on 3PO. And that's a focused attack. And unfortunately, 3PO does not reroll the way Grand Inquisitor did and dies. Okay, for 2 points. And I move Hera back to the terminal. So the reason I'm keeping Hera there is I just need to keep drawing cards because that strat shift wrecked me. So I can't really afford to give up the terminal here. Doubt's going to take away that focus. We're actually going to go back to Sphinx's turn. Okay, so I activate Gideon. So this was a stupid move. This was a really stupid move. And I think this is like 2:30 in the morning here where we should have stopped playing a long time ago. But I focus Cassian and I move him up. But I move him right into line of sight of Dell. So I really should have just kept Cassian there. I think I was doing it to protect Gideon from getting killed here. Because I thought, well, Cassian's got 6 health left and Gideon only has 5. But that just puts him right into the crosshairs of Dell and his crazy focused power token attack. And Dell can then gets an extra 2 movements from attacking from Vaders Finest. Yeah, we're definitely talking about whether Vaders Finest should be able to go on unique figures now. And that's a dead Cassian, so now I'm like, oh wow. This just got super close, right? Now I'm down to just Chewie and Hera. Hera's way out of position. And then Sphinx says Vader's Finest on Meeko is kind of dumb. And I was like, yeah, it is. We were already talking about nerfing that before this game, but it was good to see it in action. So heroic effort for me to draw. Actually, I'm curious, what did I get with heroic effort? So it looks like I redrew. So I redrew Debts Repaid. I still have Personal Energy Shield in my hand, and I have Double or Nothing. So I draw with Heroic Effort when Cassian dies. Now I could have played Debts there, but it would have just focused Chewie. I don't know. I probably should have played it. So now it's like, oh man, he's got 2 figures and I just have an 8 health Chewie. And he's obviously fighting as hard as he can. He wants to win this one, so that's good. Alright, so I double move Chewie here. Hoping to have initiative next round. And then this is where again I say, yeah, I messed up playing that negate. I did not think the game was going to go on this much longer. So I go ahead and do 2 damage to Dell. He only has 8 health, so Now that I'm in there, oh, and I play Energy Shield here. So I think I thought that Second Sister had not activated yet. So I go for the Energy Shield to try and stay alive through that. And now the officer moves Del up to the door and attacks Chewie. And I decide to hold off on using my energy or evade token there. So for those that don't remember, I didn't put it up on the screen. Energy Shield is a new Technician card. Gives you an evade token during your activation, and then while you're defending, you basically have Cunning, and it's only for Technicians. So because of Cunning, that Energy Shield ability, I get +1 block here. So no damage from the officer. He does play Officer's Training to reroll and draw a card. And now, because that officer is still alive, initiative comes back to me, and he gets to exhaust the officer for take initiative. Oh, so I realize I've been putting my cards on the bottom of his deck for heroic effort. So we have to redistribute the cards back to me. Yeah, take initiative here, and his bottom 2 cards. So yeah, that officer surviving allows him to play take initiative, otherwise he'd have to exhaust Second Sister. And now we get to some really crazy stuff. We get to see some cool stuff with Second Sister. So I hope you guys have kept watching through this very long game. Let's see. Oh, I'm on the wrong player. So keep in mind he has Dark Energy in his discard pile. So he activates Second Sister first. Or excuse me, he doesn't have it in his discard pile. He has actually just played it now. No, he did play it with Grand Inquisitor. So I think I spent the... Oh no, he doubted away the evade token. That was the other thing that was really annoying. He still has doubt at this point. So Second Sister attacking with a... she doesn't have plus damage. So he's spending the surge on +2 damage. So he's got 3 surges to work with, but only 2 are going through. So what's happening here is... I'm not sure what that's from. So he does 7. So 1, 2... Oh, he has Assassinate. That's what it was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. So he thought he had 7 and Pierce 3 because he had 2 surges going through. But then he tries to use Mastery here. So that puts Chewie at 1 health. He tries to use Mastery to redraw Dark Energy. But I remind him that, yeah, that 1 evade saved my life there. If he had been able to draw Dark Energy, he would have then played it and killed Chewie there. So he was 1 short because of that evade. So he actually decides to go with Mastery to redraw the card instead of Pierce. And what does he draw? Oh, he draws the Dark Energy to push Chewie back. So now I activate Chewie, and now I have to kill off Del Meeko, who is 6 health remaining. So I go for the attack, and I actually get to use another new card. Let's see, where did it go? Aha, Reverse Engineer, since again, Chewie is a Technician. This is a fun one. You get to perform an attack, and you get to use the Defender's Surges if you want to. You don't have to. You can use either their defense surges or your attacker's surges, but you also get a +1 surge to the attack up front. And I think that actually matters because I rolled another red butthole here, and then an evade, so that stops the extra surge. And then I think what happened was I only got 2 accuracy on this attack. Chewie doesn't have any bonus accuracy, so he actually has to surge if he wants to add accuracy to his attack. So that extra surge, just barely... Oh, I have double or nothing too. So I guess I could have rerolled the blue, technically. So I played double or nothing. which is here. So re-roll the red, and the nice thing is, if even if I re-rolled into another butthole, it would have doubled it, so that would have been nice. And then yeah, I guess I probably could have just re-rolled the blue there and probably gotten the accuracy I needed. But that extra surge from reverse engineer means I get to surge for accuracy and +2 damage. And I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then +2 accuracy. So here he uses doubt on my yellow die. He depletes doubt to force a reroll. So I actually lose one of my surges. So now I'm on 1 surge on the dice, 1 surge from reverse engineer. But I got the extra accuracy I needed from the yellow die changing to 1 accuracy. And then, oh, and then that's when we realized Dell has a block token. So it was like, oh shoot, Dell has a block token. He can Zillow. So he's taking +2. So with the reroll and the Zillow and the block token, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 -2. So he takes 5 damage. He had 2 left. So he lives with 1 health. And then I come over and hit him with the slam. And I think that is when we call it, because next round I'm going to be getting initiative. And oh, I think we let the officer take his shot. I don't know. Oh no, that's right. The officer was exhausted. So now, yeah, initiative comes to me. Slam to kill the officer, and then kill second sister with the attack for the full victory. And that was it. So that was the game. That was really long. Sorry it was so long. We basically had to play through the whole thing with no objective points. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. That is our first playtest game for Season 8. And we'll be seeing you guys for another one very soon. Okay, bye.